in yesterday's Battletech Battle Group vlog, and I've been pushing these up to my channel here, not only under the Battletech playlist, but also under the Battletech Build playlist. A campaign. I've got about a month to go. It's March 1st. As of this vlog, about early April, mid-April, we're going to get together, about 10 of us, and play various Battletech campaigns in a scenario. So I've been working on my battle group, trying to do something very, very specific, making some choices, because these games are going to run from April till about maybe August, end of August, early September. So I need to lock in my toys, but make sure I have a solid enough plan. And in yesterday's vlog, we focused on the PPC carrier, the Shrek PPC carrier. This idea of a really powerful battle tank, and having that as the cornerstone of this list, vehicles being primary and mechs in support. Usually it's the opposite, right? The mechs are the stars of the show and the vehicles support them. So the question in yesterday's build video, as we explore this list, the different components of it, what I'm hoping to do, and I'm utilizing this as an exercise for not only to share my Battletech thought process, but for you to explore what I'm saying, agree or disagree, but more importantly, ask yourself two things. How can I do this better than Fritz? Absolutely. And understanding what I'm going to be trying to do on the table, based on the toys or the tech that you have or your tactica, how can you obliterate me? How can you destroy me? This is an exercise in defeating what I put on the table. But this idea with the PPC carriers, where you're going to want to close, you're going to want to get close, maybe under minimum range, but certainly all of the different weapons that you have, bring those weapons to bear as quickly as possible. So this way you can start racking up motive hits, so you can start racking up critical damage and various internal things. Vehicles can take a lot of damage, but they tend to fall apart much, much quicker than mechs. So if you can get close, take me out of commission, that's the plan. Now, in exploring this leads us to a second group of tanks out of 4 that I'm going to be deploying or working in tandem with these carriers. I can't stop you. I can't stop you from closing to the Shreks. I can't guarantee that, I should say. Let me rephrase that. I can't guarantee I will stop you. I'm going to try, but I can't guarantee it. Dice, tactics, units, whatever, tabletop glory. But I can slow you down enough. I can put up a speed bump. In Wargaming, a speed bump is a unit or a bunch of units that are there to slow down an element of your army. And by slowing it down, I can effectively deal with it. So with that, of course, then we're going to have a counterattack, and we're going to use the PPC carriers. That's going to be in the next vlog. But for slowing it down, I needed 2 things. First, well, maybe 3. It's going to be tanks, because the theory, the game theory, and the expression of this list, and there's going to be some mechs, tanks. I need to watch the battle value. I need to have a lot of other moving pieces to make things work. And while vehicles are less expensive than mechs, PPC carriers are not cheap. And I'm going to be scaling 1 to 4, possibly. So what is, looking through the tech manuals, a solid battle value for what you bring? Not expensive, not cheap. It's not a Scorpion. It's not quick sell. What is something that has some bite? I can field in numbers, scaling up as needed. And I won't say you're not scared. You're scared of it, or you're not scared of it, but it can hold its own. The Bulldog. The Bulldog is a great tank. If it's kind of an auto include. It kind of is the counterpart. There are certain mechs in the game that just perform really well. Like, I don't know the mission. I don't know what you're going to bring. I don't know the hex map. I just know we're going to be playing Battletech. I mean, I could take an urban mech. I took an urban mech and a fire starter to a random game once, and we wound up playing on a desert board with absolutely zero terrain and very little elevation. It was a very, very quick game. So there are certain mechs that you can take, trooper mechs, evergreen mechs, auto-include mechs, various terminology, that whatever you play on, they're going to be good. They're going to be solid. The Bulldog is that equivalent. So I'm going to have a layer of Bulldogs that are going to hang out with the carriers, and when required, move out, roll out, right? go all Autobot, roll out, and get up there 10 to 15 hexes. Get up there 10 to 15 hexes ahead, dig in, engage, and delay whatever's incoming. Delay it. And while that's being delayed, scaling up the battle value, minimum 2 PPC carriers. I can take up to 3 if we scale battle value, or 4. I don't go beyond 4 because then I don't have enough battle value to cover the other areas. Like, look, I'd love to take 10, right? But we need to have some sort of matrix with that. But that is potentially 2, 3, or 4 carriers continuing to blast you every single turn. And it presents an interesting tactical choice. Now, I've got other elements. We're going to talk about that. You've got other elements. But just imagine this kind of vertical scenario here. Got my PPC carriers. I'm dug in. I'm blasting away. Maybe you're trading a couple of shots and you're like, you know what? I got to get up there and crit these things and blast them. You move up. I roll out the Bulldogs. You have a choice. Hang out and engage the Bulldogs. And you might be able to easily defeat them or put the hurt on or smash them down with motive hits and various elements. But let's say that takes you 4 turns. Those are 4 extra turns. And I say 10 to 15 hexes, optimal PPC range, that my carriers are going to be blasting you. Well, roll past them. Forget it. You're trying to speed bump me, Fritz. Like, no, I'm going to move past it. Well, the Bulldogs got a little bit of bite. They got a little bit of growl, a little bit of chomp. That's rear armor. That's bypass now. I've caught you between 2. Do you potentially want to do that? So these are the units that I've selected, the part 2 of the list. And for the miniatures, Death Ray Designs. I'm dropping that link down there in the info box. I love how these models scale for the Bulldog tanks. They're not oversized, or they're not huge and massive, because this is not a massive battle tank. But at the same time, they're not light and flimsy. And I love not only the attention to detail on the body, I really like how the turret looks on this. It looks just futuristic enough. It looks kind of Bulldog enough. It really complements the body very, very well. So we've got 4 of these ready to go. Going to play 2 at a minimum. And then again, it scales up to 3. It scales up to 4.